Hey everybody, welcome back to IP Farms. Well, it's another beautiful day here. We're in the 70s for a couple days anyway. Got more rain, but I had a couple people, actually quite a few, before the last video and after it came out, wanted me to film more about what I'm doing with the truck. Talked about that in that video, you know, kind of why I'd taken a little bit of a break, and so we'll film it. Still got about the same amount of stuff to do that we talked about in that video as far as batteries and miscellaneous stuff. So round up some tools here. I've got to get me some more tools to keep in the shop so I don't have to pull out of the truck so much. But I'll bring along for a little bit of it. I'm gonna try to get the battery box off the other truck today. I got to paint the frame. We've just got a little bit of rust behind where that air starter tank was, and get that bolted up. I'm only gonna run 3 batteries for right now. I've got the cables. Might make the sounds like I got people back here on the 4-wheeler. I'll have to go investigate that first. But got all the cables to parallel the batteries together and run some new ones over to the cutoff switch. So bring it along for as much as I can. Like I said, some of you wanted to see it, so we'll see how it does. Stay tuned. Well, so far they're behaving and staying on their side of the property line. Just really close. The sound travels quite a bit when the leaves are off the trees. So, okay, I'm not getting anything done worrying about that. So let's go back around the front and get started back on the truck. Well, we're not at all worried about a beauty contest. It's to slow some of the rust down that was starting behind those brackets. I think I showed it, maybe not. That's what came out of it. That was the air tank for the starter of the truck. It had an air starter on it. It had the big aluminum brackets around that. I had to, hopefully you've seen the short, I had to take the 1086 and pick up on the back of it and get the rear wheels about 4 feet off the ground to get that monstrosity rolled out from under there. If I'd went ahead and changed the fairings, you know, it wouldn't be no problem, but you know me, we do everything backwards. So got that painted, let that be drying, set you up over here on this parts truck and see if we can get this other battery box out. So here's what we're after: the big battery box and the cutoff switch. So I needed to be able to be in 3 places at one time, and I can't. So probably set you up on some high speed. I've got to climb up there and see if I can wiggle my arm around there and get these off. That truck over there, they were just about non-operational as far as with the impact or breaker bar. I finally got them loose, so I'm hoping this goes better. And I think, according to my measurements, this is right. This one did not have a driver's side fuel tank where mine's got dual tanks. So I'm hoping that my holes, I think I can shift this back enough and make it work. If not, I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board, but we'll see what we can do. Task that turned into. I got myself stuck. I like these fairings for looks, but I tell you what, they are nothing but in the way when you go to try to work on something. I still don't. Of course, there's Jack. I mean, literally, that's the first time you guys have been on regular time in 45 minutes. As soon as I turn the camera on, he goes to hollering. I don't know if I can get this out of here like this or not. Maybe. Sorry about all the grunting. My word. Well, we're back for another day of working on the truck. I figured out I am entirely too old and fat to be rolling around in the dirt working on a big truck. Anyway, running some battery cables. Finally got the battery box moved. I think that's the last thing you've seen. I'll show you that in a minute. What a nightmare that's been. But I'm trying to figure out all this, I don't know, for lack of better words, situation they got going on here. I think this is a huge air line that went to the starter. So the power wires run out outside the frame rail, which I like, and this is the ground. So we're going to try to figure out a place under here to tie this up to something and run it back here to my battery box. I had to buy a long, I think this is 2/0 cable. The stuff I had to jump the batteries there wasn't long enough. But anyway, let me get situated here and see if I can figure out how I'm going to run this cable, and I'll bring you back. Well, I don't know how much you can see. I had to wiggle my big tail out from under there. That didn't work. I was going to try to put it through the hose, the old airline hose. I got it about 3/4 of the way, and that was it. So came back up top here, looked down through the frame rail, or the frame, the fuel tank brackets along the frame. I'll get it out in a minute. Found another hole below it to keep it away from the power wire. Came up, and I've been wondering what this new bolt is. Like I said, this truck had an air starter on it before somebody put the electric, so they've got the big ground cable run up and tied into the frame rail right there, which is fine. We're just going to attach my 2/0 cable to that. It'll be a tying point, and then I can keep my battery cable out here on the outside. I broke the positive side on this one because I can get the switch right on top of the battery, so that means nothing is hot anywhere off of the battery from all this wiring up here to the starter. So not getting anything done talking. Let's get back after it. Well, you probably can't get a very good view there because you can't see the starter down there. But I showed you in the last clip the bolt we were going to junction on the frame rail. Well, that didn't work because somebody stuck a 3/8 bolt through about a 3/4 inch hole. Didn't grind the paint down. That ground system wasn't going to work. So pulled the cable back out, ran it back along the inside of the frame rail, drilled my lug out down here, went straight to the ground on the starter where it should be. So I got to zip tie a few things up here and underneath, and then hopefully the cables will be back there. We'll be finished with that, and I can start working on the box itself and the battery hold down. So let me get my big tail out from in front of this truck and get repositioned, and I'll bring you back. Well, there's how it turned out, guys, with the batteries in it. There's a 4th one down there. That's one of the ones that came out. I'm not sure if that one's good or not. It says 22 on it. I need to load test it, but I think I might end up adding a 4th battery later on, just because we're going to have dual winches on the step deck trailer, or the availability to put dual winches on. So might just utilize the 4 battery system here and go from there. But it's taking up space right now, so we got to make some jumper wires for the batteries, tie them all together. I've got my cutoff switch here, and of course the cable you saw me do yesterday. and just tell you ahead of time we're not going to solder anything. We're just going to crimp it and heat shrink it, so don't give me too much grief about that. But enough babbling, let's get to work. Well, there's how they turned out. Just connecting them all, pulling off the positive front battery, negative on that one. I think I'm gonna for sure add a fourth battery. I'll load test that one and see how it does. I may just end up getting a new one for this and putting that in the 1086. I've got one bad if that one's good. But anyway, had a little junction block that had some wiring for the inside, because in the factory it had one battery right there, I guess, to run the electrics with the air starter, and had a little junction block over there. Sorry, I'm fingering the screen. So I just took that loose and wired everything up, so now everything's on the hot post of the switch there, so nothing's hot at all anywhere, power, with the switch off, and all I've got is that 12-inch cable right there that's live from the battery up to that when it's off. So all right, well, let's see if it'll crank. Well, the old girl's kind of rough up front here. I'm possibly going to do a little fiberglass work there. I found a couple of trucks online, and I tell you what, that is one hot ticket item, is a Freightliner FLD hood. They are expensive. Some of them wanted more for the hood than I gave for the whole running truck. So we're just going to have to deal with a little bit of fiberglass work and lack of curb appeal, we shall say. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate you following on the journey with me. Like I said before, a couple of you had asked to see some of the truck work, so I've spanned this out over several weeks, this video. Might try to compile the rest of it into one little short snippet or something like that, and may not, may just bring you back when we're headed up the road to get the trailer, but we'll see. So stay tuned for more, and really appreciate everything. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Till then, thank you.